to the parent. All right, let's begin language. We're going to do page 81 today, and that will help you on the test. It's got a couple things on it that are very like the task. We're going to start with this. This is not on your paper today, but it is something that's on the test. So eyes up here. All right, how many of you know what we're going to do with these? Olivia, what are we going to do with these? Okay, we're going to turn it into possessive phrase. I wanted you to tell me we're going to turn it into possessive phrase. So you are not, Zeke, please pay attention, you are not going to write a sentence. You're going to read the sentence, the purse belongs to Mom, and you're going to turn it into a possessive phrase. And she already did that. Instead of telling me what we were going to do with these, she actually told me the answer, which is Mom's purse. So you would write Mom, and how do you make it possessive? Apostrophe S. And then purse. Mom's purse. Alright, the second one says Grandma gave Clara a book. Please pay attention on this one because you have two people. It does not belong to both people. Who does it belong to? Tess?
Clara's book.
It is Clara's book. If Grandma gave Clara, whose book is it?
Clara.
It's Clara, not Grandma. Grandma gave it to Clara, so it is Clara's book. Clara, again, apostrophe S, book. All right, the last one, Andrew received an award. Brennan.
Andrew's award.
Very good. So write Andrew, that's who got it. That's who possesses it. Apostrophe S, award. All right, I hope all of you are paying attention because that is on the test. You have to do that on the test. And when we've done this before, I've had people that turned it into another sentence. So they would say, Mom's purse is green. Is that what you're supposed to be doing?
No.
No. You are not turning it into a different sentence. You are just simply writing the possessive phrase that this means. The purse belongs to Mom means it's Mom's purse. Grandma gave Clara a book, so that means it's Clara's book. Andrew received an award, so that's Andrew's award. And that's all you do. Alright, now we're going to go to the middle section, which again is like the test, and it has to do with commas. Actually, the top part has to do with capitalization and punctuation of a direct quotation. I almost skipped that part. And the second part has to do with commas. Alright, so we've been going over that chart, capitalization rules, so much, but I still feel like we should do it again. So let's start with the capitalization. So everybody's eyes on the chart. Capitalize the first word of every sentence. Capitalize names, titles of respect, initials, and the word I. Capitalize the days of the week and months of the year, but not the seasons. Eyes up here. Please stop playing around. Capitalize holidays and special days. Capitalize proper nouns. What are proper nouns?
Particular
person, place, or thing. Alright, capitalize names referring to God and the Bible. And capitalize the first word, the last word, and every important word in the titles of books, stories, poems, and songs. Alright, let's go back to this first one where it says capitalize the first word of every sentence. We also learned you need to capitalize the first word of every direct quotation. Alright, and that is what we're going to be working on in that. Alright, let's do period, because we may have some periods that we need to put in those. No we don't. So we'll do that later. Alright. We'll do that when we do the comma rule. Alright, so let's look at the first two sentences. The first sentence says, Bob and Julie asked, may we go to the zoo? Now, there's no punctuation missing in this, but there is some capitalization missing. So what capitalization needs? Give me one.
May.
May, because that is the beginning of the direct quotation, right?
Bob.
Bob. Two reasons. Give me one if you only know one.
Because it's his name.
It's a name. Very good. What's the other reason? Grace?
It's at the beginning of the sentence.
Yes, it's the beginning of a sentence, and it's a name. So 2 reasons it needs to be capitalized. Give me another one that needs to be capitalized. Julie, why? Yeah, another name. Bob, Julie, those are both names. May we go to the zoo? Do we need to capitalize zoo?
No.
No, because they didn't name the zoo. If they had given us the proper noun of the zoo, the name, actual name of the zoo, then we would capitalize zoo. All right, read the next one. The teacher replied, your test will be on Friday. The teacher replied, your test will be on Friday.
Capitalize
Why?
because it's at the beginning of the sentence.
Very good. Owen,
Capitalize your.
your. Very good. Because?
The first word of the direct quotation.
Very good. The first word of the direct quotation. Notice Friday was already capitalized. We didn't even have to worry about it, did we?
Nope.
All right, they'd already capitalized it. And that may happen in the sentence too.
You did that on accident.
I know I did it on purpose because I've seen your test and I know that there are some things that they capitalized it already.
Oh.
And you don't have to worry about it. But you do need to look the whole sentence over again just to make sure. All right. Now we're going to put in commas. So let's go ahead and do a period, apostrophe, and comma rules. All right, for a period. Use a period at the end of most sentences. And that would be declarative and imperative. Use a period after initials of names. After abbreviated titles of respect. What is that one title of respect that's not abbreviated? Yes, Grace. Miss. M-I-S-S. Capital M-I-S-S. You do need to capitalize it, but it doesn't need a period because it's the whole word. And use a period after most abbreviations. And that one will be used. You need to stop doing that and pay attention. That one will be used when you do your envelope, okay? Because you will need to put a period after street names. It's also talking about days of the week and months of the year when they're abbreviated, like I always do in the date up here. All right, and then we're going to use one apostrophe rule, and that will be used with what we did over here. Use an apostrophe with an S to show ownership. Another way to say that is to show possession. Possession or ownership, right? All right, now let's do the comma rules. Please stop playing with your pencils so you don't have to waste time picking them up. If you're not playing with them, they won't be rolling off your desk, and then you don't have to waste time picking them up. All right, use a comma and a conjunction to correct or run on a sentence. That one won't be on this test. You've had it on a test before, but it won't be on this test. But the rest will. Use a comma after yes or no at the beginning of a sentence. Use a comma before and after the name of the person you are speaking to in a sentence. And we call that direct address. Direct address. And remember, if their name comes first, the comma goes after their name. If their name comes last, pay attention. The comma goes before their name. If their name comes somewhere in the middle, the comma goes before and after their name. All right, next comma rule. Use a comma to separate a city and the state. What's the rest of the rule? And after the state, too, if it's not at the end of a sentence. Use a comma to separate words or groups of words in a series. And use a comma to separate parts of a date. Don't like it? How should we say it? Use a comma after the day in the date and after the year if it's not at the end of the sentence. Yes, I do usually say after the year two, T-O-O, if it's not at the end of the sentence. All right, so let's do these. These are going to be putting in commas. So everybody look up here, get where you can see these sentences, and I want you paying attention because this type thing will be on your test. On November 26, 2020, we celebrated Thanksgiving. So somebody who hasn't answered. Liam.
After 26.
26 because?
Because it's a day. And a day.
Do you see that insert mark? Because you do not do insert marks for commas. You need to put insert marks for commas too, not just ending punctuation. Yes, because after the year too, when it's not at the end of the sentence, insert a comma. Next, my friends live in Houston, Texas. You already did one. Adam.
Put a comma after Houston and in between Texas.
Yeah.
And then don't put a comma after Texas because it's at the end of the sentence.
Very good. Houston is a city and Texas is a state. And if you did not know that, you would just ask me and I would tell you, we don't need to come here because Texas is at the end of the sentence. If it wasn't at the end of the sentence, then if I said my friends have lived in Houston, Texas for 10 years, then I would need a comma after Texas too, because that wasn't at the end of the sentence anymore. No, Alicia, you cannot have my phone. All right, Paige.
Insert a comma after yes or no at the beginning of a sentence.
Very good. Yes or no at the beginning of a sentence. You need a comma there. The cute kitten pounced, jumped, and pranced around. The cute kitten. Grace, give me one, because this one needs more than one, doesn't it?
Here. Put a comma after pounced.
Very good. Pounce, comma. Insert that comma. Give me another one, Micah.
After jump.
Very good. After jump. All right. And next, Jonathan.
You just stop.
Very good. That's what I want you to tell me. You stop because you get to that word and. Pounce, comma, jump, comma. Oh, there's the word and, so we can stop putting the commas. Or it might be the word or if they're giving you a choice of the series and the choice of new series. Yes?
You forgot a period after from.
I did, didn't I? I read it through the phone. I was in a big hurry that day. That was done on that last day, right when you guys left. And I was getting all the stuff together for distance learning and going home and getting this ready for Monday, December 7th before I left. Okay. It was a crazy day. All right, now the next thing we're going to do is your paper, and you see the top of your paper is an envelope. You will have to do something just like this on your test. So, what they've done is they've given you a from and a to. And what did we learn? We've seen this chart several times when we're distance learning. What is this? No. That's from. What's this?
To.
So what's at the top?
From.
What's here?
To. From. To.
Do you write the word from?
No.
No. But from goes higher, to goes lower. Just think that F comes first, T comes next. In the alphabet, F comes first. So put on the top, you put from. Who's it from? Down here you put to. When you're doing their name, what do you need to remember to do? Capitalize your name.
And
Put it as a title of respect.
And put a period after
Unless it
abbreviation.
is
Miss.
miss. If it's miss,
Then you just
happen to be
capitalize.
writing a miss somebody. If it's misses, you need a period. But it needs to be capitalized. You capitalize the title of respect, you capitalize their name. What else do you need to remember to do?
In the third sentence, you forgot to put a comma after Alicia.
You're right. That was talking to somebody. Woo, good catch. Good catch. Alicia, we are talking to Alicia. So you need one for no, but you also need one for Alicia because you're talking to Alicia. Sorry about that, guys. Alright, so the name needs to be capitalized. Titles of respect need a period. What if it has initials? Just tell me. What else? Capitalize and put a period. Some of you are still having a hard time remembering to capitalize every single thing in somebody's name. Their title of respect, their name, their initial, and their last name. Right, go on to the street address. What do you need to remember to do there? Capitalize it. Every single word in the street name needs to be capitalized. What about the ending? Lane or road or boulevard or avenue? Put a period because they are usually abbreviated. I'm going to give you the abbreviation for Delaware. Yeah, you know what? I'm not. Just write it out. Since most of you did not listen to me last time when I gave you the abbreviation for Arizona, actually some of you did, but most of you did not. Just go ahead and write it all out since that's what you seem to want to do. But just don't forget to capitalize your city and your state, and don't forget the comma. Do you guys see the comma? No, you don't, because they didn't put it. What do you need to remember to do, though?
Put a comma.
Put a comma between your city and your state. Do you need a comma after the state? No, because this is not a sentence. This is just an address for an envelope. You would only put a comma after the state, too, if it's in a sentence and not at the end of the sentence. But don't forget your zip code. I have a few of you, when you did this the other day, you forgot to put the zip code. You just put the city and the state and then you stopped, even though the zip code is right there to copy. Alright, go ahead and do that section. Actually, we should probably go on to the next section for the sake of the video. So stop writing that section. Stop writing that section. And let's go on to the next section and do those sentences, and then I'll tell you about the sentence at the bottom, and then you can go back and finish that section. So everybody move to number 1 in Think B. It says use proofreader marks to add all necessary capital letters. Use proofreader marks to insert all necessary commas. Use proofreader marks to insert punctuation at the end of each sentence. And use proofreader marks to insert necessary quotation marks. All right, so the first one says, Mrs. Harper asked, did you know that Delaware is almost the smallest state? All right, what's first?
Capitalize Mrs.
Capitalize
Two
Mrs.
reasons. It's abbreviation and it's the first word in the
No,
sentence.
you don't capitalize this abbreviation. You capitalize it because it's the title of respect.
Oh, yeah.
And it is the first word of the sentence. Title of respect. Did they put the period?
Yes.
Yes. So you don't need to insert a period.
Yes.
After Mrs. Isn't that a period?
There's a period.
They already put the period after Mrs., so you don't have to insert that period. But if it wasn't there, you would need to.
Capitalize
What's the next thing you need to capitalize? Harper. Her name is Harper. Mrs. Harper. So capitalize Mrs., capitalize Harper. All right, what's next?
Put quotation marks before did and after the comma.
Yeah, after the comma. See, it says after comma. Insert your quotation marks. All right, and then what do you need to capitalize?
Delaware.
Oh, you skipped
Did.
one. Did. You need to capitalize did because it's the beginning of her quotation. It's what she said.
And then
What
Delaware.
she said is like a sentence. And then Delaware. Then, at the end of the sentence, think about her quotation. What kind of sentence is her quotation?
A period.
Interrogative.
It's a question. Did you know that Delaware is almost the smallest state? So you need to put a question mark, insert, don't forget to insert a question mark, and then insert your ending quotation marks after the question mark. Question mark, then the ending quotation mark. And remember, quotation marks cup it. So the first one should be curved this way, and the last one should be curved that way, just like what I did on the board. All right, anybody need more time? Okay, let's go on to number 2. Read number 2 with me. Nick said, I learned that Rhode Island is the smallest state. All right, what's first? Nick. Capitalize Nick. It's his name, and it's the beginning of the sentence. So there's 2 reasons for capitalizing Nick. What's next? Very good. Quotation marks. Insert quotation marks after the comma and before the word I. Very good.
And then
Insert
capitalize.
quotation marks after the comma before the word I.
Capitalize I.
Yes, and then you would need to capitalize I. 2 reasons. Because you always capitalize the word I. Don't say capitalize I. Word I.
Word I.
Because I had people that heard somebody say always capitalize I, and so they would start capitalizing ice cream
Oh, yeah.
and igloo and every single word that started with I. It's the word I. Always capitalize the word I. Plus, it's the beginning of the direct quotation. All right, what's next? No, not that I. The word I with a capital I. Rhode Island. Both road and island need to be capitalized because that is a state and it's made up of 2 words, road and island. Capitalize both of them. What's next? What kind of sentence would that be?
Insert a period.
Insert a period because he's saying a declarative sentence. Sit down. Sit down. I don't think you're in that. That's for me. For tissue. You can wait till we're done here. And then after the period, insert
Quotation
quotation marks. Please stop making them so big. I do not need humongous quotation marks like that. They don't look like quotation marks. They look like parentheses. All right, what's the next sentence? Dad said that we will be able to visit our grandparents this summer.
Dad.
Dad. What's next?
Put a comma after said.
No. You do not need to put a comma after said. Did Dad say these words? That we will be able to visit our grandparents this summer.
Oh, yeah.
This is not a direct quotation. This is an indirect quotation. You are just telling me what Dad said, but you are not quoting Dad directly.
Do you capitalize grandparents?
That word that. No, you don't have to capitalize grandparents. So that means we just need punctuation at the end of the sentence. After capitalizing Dad, punctuation at the end of the sentence would be
Sorry.
a period. A period after summer. Don't tell me where to put it. Tell me what to put. All right? Because that is a declarative sentence. No quotation marks. This is not a direct quotation. You do not need quotation marks. Where do your grandparents live, Peter?
Capitalize where?
Capitalize where? Because it's the beginning of the sentence. Now what?
Peter.
Yeah, insert a comma before Peter. So comma and then Peter because it is direct address. You're speaking to Peter. And then what else?
A question mark.
All right, so you got to skip something.
Capitalize Peter.
Capitalize Peter.
Oh, yeah.
It's his name. You are speaking to Peter. You need a comma before Peter, but you also need to capitalize Peter because that is a name. And yes, you do need to insert a question mark at the end of the sentence. Are you with me? Okay, go on to number 5.
Capitalize.
Yes. Okay, have I even read the sentence yet? Sit up.
She barely
Pay
started.
attention. Yes, you may write a letter to your friend.
Capitalize yes.
Yes. Capitalize yes. Then what? Insert a comma. Rule is yes or no at the beginning of the sentence. Always needs a comma. Anything else?
Insert a period.
Yes, insert a period at the end of the sentence because it is a declarative sentence. All right, so you will be going back and finishing addressing the from and the to. And then you're going to write an exclamatory sentence that uses quotation marks. So, do you guys remember some of the things you might say to prove that you're going to say something exciting?
Adam said or something.
Not said. Adam
What?
wailed. Okay. Did you say wailed? Screeched? Screeched?
Timmy screamed.
Screamed? Say it again. Yelled? That works.
Yelled.
Yelled?
Timmy exclaimed.
Exclaimed? That just means you got excited. Some of these ones are when you're scared. You might screech or scream if you were scared. All right, but you guys get the picture. Don't just say said. If you said somebody said, then that's usually a declarative sentence. All right? And if you say replied, that usually is an answer to a question. Somebody asked you a question and you replied. Okay? So, go ahead and don't forget, after you said whoever said it, put a comma, then the quotation marks, then capitalize what they said. Don't forget the exclamation mark before the quotation marks. All right, you may finish that up.